Ready?
Coach, if you can give us an analysis of the tournament, how has it been for you and the team?
Today, it's probably the story of a campaign nation. We just lots of pressure release, to do a lot of good things, and then somewhere, somehow, we sort of either got off system or we sort of, I don't know if it's losing concentration, and then we release pressure. And, today probably the disappointing thing was in and around our defense, which has probably been the strongest part of our game for a while. We're obviously down in terms of the feeling and the mood. I mean, it's not what we had in mind. It's not what we had hoped for. But we are in this moment, so we have to, get up and go again. We've got a game again on Friday. I think Wales or Australia. So we just have to make sure that we get up for it. But I mean, it's not good enough result-wise.
So you've played Argentina twice in this tournament now. To the results for you that didn't go your way, what have you learned in these two matches playing Argentina and about the team in general?
Oh, much better performance from us today, in terms of the things that we would need to address from the previous game. So there was growth in that area, but I mean, the biggest thing about the comp, as I've said to you guys, it's probably been our theme since the TRC, really just releasing a lot of pressure. We play in moments and then we release pressure, then we find ourselves on the back foot, and then, so we're not winning enough of those cycles, and then we're not really getting, almost double positives, if I can call it that. But we obviously have to figure it out, but the comp has gone away from us now. The biggest thing is to make sure that we bounce back for the next game on Friday, and hopefully we can end off well. That's really it.
Coach, I know there's still one game left, but if you look at the teams, or rather the system from last year to this year, how things been? Where are we in terms of the system? How things from the under 20 point of view?
Preparation-wise, this year actually much better than last year, because we had time together. So time is not an excuse. We had international games, so that's not an excuse. Obviously, every country runs different programs. In isolation this year, we just, we haven't been good enough. I think in isolation, in the bigger context of things, we've been semi-finalists, I think, for the last 10 years or so. So obviously, there's things that we need to look at from a program point of view, holistically, in terms of what is it that we're missing and why we're not getting that conversion, in terms of moving from semi-finalists into a team that can potentially win this competition, because we come in every year with good talent, but there's obviously something that we're just not getting right as a system.
Lorenzo, you back for the second year, had a fantastic game. Try almost another one. How would you summarize this whole campaign, regardless of your positioning, the team?
It's been a roller coaster, I would say, because obviously we produce such good things, such good moments in a game, but unfortunately we'd lack the clinical point where we actually finish and suffocate a team in the 22. I mean, the same thing with England. I would say we had them, I think in the first half we suffocated them in the 22, but obviously like coach says, pressure release in those key areas. That sort of cost us the game, and I can say that from game one or from game two, the second game we lost. The same thing just reoccurring. I think, that's just so much a coach can do and can prepare us for that. So if we don't step up for that, I mean, there's nothing we can ask for that.
Coach, just on the side, it's a bit of a side note, but we saw Brock Harris today in the coaching box. What was his role? Was he sort of just helping you guys? Because I know he's working with the Western Province under 21s. He's still a player as well with the Stormers. So what was his role, perhaps? Could you give us a little bit of information there?
Yeah, we actually just needed to bring some light to the dressing room. It's a bit dark in the coaching box at the moment, and just different language as well. No, Coach Curry had a family bereavement, and he obviously couldn't be with the team. It was quite a pressing family matter, and again, as you rightly said, Brock has worked with some of the Western Province junior players before, and because of how we try to work with all the coaches within the different franchises, it was a lot easier for him to sort of just fit in, because he knows what we're doing and he knows the players. Yeah, that's why he was with us today.
Coach, just on the lineouts, what do you think was a miss today?
We started well, and I think in the second half, when they pretty got tired, when we needed to actually chase the tempo, we sort of went away from that. And from time to time, I think obviously Yaku is still coming back into it. So I think as he got tired, probably some detail went away from him, and we couldn't do much because we had lost Tom earlier on. Those are some of the things that you have to factor in. And then we lost those opportunities to play, but it hurt us a little bit. But I think in the general game, it's not the only thing that affected the result.
Lorenzo, despite the team's effort in the results, but personally, game-wise, you've been impressed. How has it been?
Sure. I don't know. It's been good for me personally. Well, I have a different goal. Obviously, you come into a competition like this on the world stage. You have your goals set to what you're playing for, what you want to achieve. So for me, I think I've been good in staying in that, having a vision. Obviously, we had a vision for the team, and unfortunately, it didn't go our way. So for me, it was just to keep my head cool, help the team as much as possible, bringing experience in from last year as well. So yeah, just trying to keep the boys positive and keep going, understanding that even though we're not in a good position, we still have to at least place the highest that we can, because obviously we want to give the guys next year a proper shot and the best possible situation to be in.
I stand to be corrected. Last year you played a different position, but what are those improvements that you focused on, just personally, coming this year?
I think when I was in high school, there was a bit of question around my work rate, and playing obviously on the wing, I was forced to do those small things since I was a bit further from the ball, and I think that was a key growth in my journey, especially moving to centre. So now I can express myself without having to think about working harder, going to the ball, and those type of stuff.
Just to follow up on that as well, just what's it like playing in two World Rugby Championships for South Africa, for the Baby Boks?
For me, it means a lot because obviously I was fortunate to be in this position. My father, they gave so much for me to be here, so I just try to represent them and my family and where I come from. So.
Coach, I know there's a big expectation from the South African public, and we always want to see our team win. Didn't happen this time around. What is your message to the country, the people that really love the Springboks, especially also the Junior Boks?
Yeah, people are hurting, but I think it's just important to understand that the team probably hurts just as much. And again, we haven't been good enough. We're not going to make excuses for that. The important thing, as I keep saying, is to make sure that they keep supporting the players, they keep supporting the group. No one goes out there to make mistakes, and then I think the guys are trying, we're just not on it at the moment. And I can just encourage them, to keep supporting the team and just get behind them. That's probably when you need people. That's when when the chips are against you.
Coach, you mentioned that you're going to reevaluate the system and everything. Will we see, or could we see, more of an emphasis on performance than the group growing the people into the system? Because it seems like it's very difficult to marry the two.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that one would have to look at from that perspective. In terms of performance, we came in wanting to perform. We came in believing we had the group that could perform, and we are disappointed. And I know SA Rugby themselves, they're quite clear on the fact that they want us to obviously perform. The challenge in marrying that with the process of trying to develop these guys and give them opportunities at an international stage is probably something that we do have to figure out. I'm not sure if that's what's stopping us from performing. As I've said, I just think there's different things one has to look at within the program in itself holistically, because it comes back from it's been a long time. I mean, I think I was looking yesterday, the group of 2011 that came fifth. I mean, Sia Kolisi, Eben Etzebeth, I can't remember the guys that were in that group, but it was actually, I think, more of the Springboks that played in, more of the current World Cup winning Springboks come from the 2011 group that they came fifth. And out of the 2012 group that won it, you can actually count on one hand. We talk of Big Steph, we talk of Andre, we talk of Stephen Kitsoff, and that's probably about it. So, we just have to really understand what is it that we're missing with our program.
Because, I mean, if you look seriously, those guys that you brought in that wasn't match fit, that wasn't ready, that was recouping from injuries, and we don't want to pinpoint players, but at the end of the day, that was the majority of the reasons why you didn't pull off the close games.
That's a coaching and a management thing. So, I mean, I can't obviously blame the players for that. We made a decision as a management team, and obviously as a head coach, I had the final say. So that's probably the one area, if anything, that's probably one area where I must definitely take responsibility and not pin that on the players.
Okay. Thank you, guys. One last one.
Lorenzo, I just want to find out what the mood is like in terms of, from a player's perspective. It's never nice losing a game, let alone 3 on the bounce. But I noticed on Tuesday and today, when the chips were down, difficult moments, you guys didn't have a go at each other. What's that like?
I think it's just because obviously we lost the first game. That one hurt the most, but the second game, we had to take a look at each other and ask ourselves what's going on within ourselves. And going at each other, I think that would just make things worse for us, and we all understand that. So I think for us and we as a team, we sat and the coaches, they'll be hard on us, obviously, because they want results. We also want results. But we as a team need to know that if we don't produce, that it's going to come down to him, to SA Rugby and all of those things. So obviously they do as much as they can to take the pressure off the players, but we understand that it doesn't help we lose and go at each other and with disappointment into the next game, because that's just eating poison.
Okay, guys.